Today I'm going to share with you a company that analysts expect to rise more than 300% within the next 12 months. In this video, I'll go over everything from the price forecasts made by top analysts and platforms to the company's financial condition, future plans, partnerships, management team, clinical trials, and all other important details you need to know. At the same time, so far I've analyzed and shared over 50 videos about companies like MLTX, Rigetti, Wolf, and Hive in their early stages, and most of them have brought us hundreds of percent in profits since then. If you don't believe it, go check my channel, watch the videos one by one, and take advantage of these opportunities too, because many of these companies are still in their early growth phases. So let's begin. MoonLake Immunotherapeutics is a clinical stage biotechnology company based in Zug, Switzerland, and listed on the Nasdaq under the ticker MLTX. The company is developing drugs that target IL-17A and IL-17F inflammatory mediators through a trivalent nanobody called sonelokimab, a small and efficient molecule. This drug candidate is being developed to treat psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, hidradenitis suppurativa, scleroderma, and other rare inflammatory skin diseases. In 2021, MoonLake obtained the development and commercialization rights to sonelokimab from Merck KGaA, aiming to bring this drug to market independently. Since MoonLake Immunotherapeutics is still in the clinical trial stage, it doesn't yet generate revenue from product sales. Meanwhile, its operational and R&D expenses have been rising rapidly. By the end of 2024, MoonLake recorded a net loss of $121.2 million, which is a significant increase compared to the $44.1 million loss in 2023. Despite that, the company's CFO stated that expenses are being efficiently managed and that available resources are sufficient to fund operations through the end of 2026. By late 2024, the company's total cash and equivalents reached $448 million, considered enough to cover its Phase 3 trials and other research programs. In the first quarter of 2025, MoonLake's financial position remains strong. Reports show that total cash equivalents, and short-term investments amounted to $480.1 million. Additionally, in August 2025, MoonLake signed a $500 million non-dilutive credit agreement with Hercules Capital. These funds are expected to ensure a steady cash flow sufficient to cover expenses until 2028. As I mentioned earlier, MoonLake's R&D program revolves around its trivalent nanobody, sonelokimab. This candidate neutralizes IL-17A and IL-17F simultaneously and is used for treating psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, hidradenitis suppurativa, and other inflammatory diseases. In 2021, after obtaining the development and commercialization rights from Merck KGaA, MoonLake accelerated its clinical trials. The company remains committed to the long-term, multi-stage process of bringing this drug to market. For companies like this, the valuation of their shares often depends heavily on clinical trial results. For example, MoonLake is currently testing sonelokimab across several inflammatory diseases. Its research pipeline includes hidradenitis suppurativa, a chronic and difficult-to-treat skin condition. By the end of 2024, MoonLake completed 2 Phase 3 trials, VELA 1 and VELA 2. While both achieved the main endpoint high SCR75, meaning a 75% reduction in skin lesions, VELA 2 did not fully meet statistical significance because the placebo group unexpectedly showed a high 25.6% response rate. However, the combined analysis of both VELA 1 and VELA 2 showed overall positive results. Although investors were cautious due to the uncertainty around VELA 2, the 52-week results from these studies are expected by mid-2026, and MoonLake may start new HS-related clinical trials by the end of 2025. Psoriatic arthritis is another severe rheumatic condition affecting the joints. MoonLake launched its Phase 3 IZR program for PSA in late 2024 and plans to collect results in 2025. Another project, Adolescent HS, focuses on treating HS in younger patients and started in early 2025, with initial data expected in the coming months. Palmoplantar pustulosis is a rare inflammatory disease affecting the hands and feet. The Phase 2 LIDA trial in 2025 showed positive early results, and the outcomes of oral administration are eagerly awaited. Meanwhile, axial spondyloarthritis, an inflammatory joint disease, is being tested in the Phase 2 SOLARIS program, with results expected in the second half of 2025. MoonLake's research is centered on sonelokimab, and the company continues to advance trials across multiple indications. I believe the company's success over the next 3 to 5 years will depend on the clinical efficacy and safety data coming from these trials. Alongside these studies, MoonLake is expanding through strategic partnerships in research and financing. The company signed a 3-year technology partnership with Komodo Health, allowing MoonLake to analyze real-world clinical data, study patient populations in hidradenitis suppurativa and psoriatic arthritis, and optimize trial planning. Financially, MoonLake secured a $500 million non-dilutive loan agreement with Hercules Capital, drawing an initial $75 million in August 2025. This funding helps the company finance its projects without share dilution and maintain liquidity through 2028. Furthermore, in mid-2025, Merck & Company reportedly offered to acquire MoonLake for about $3 billion, a roughly 15% premium to its $2.6 billion market capitalization at the time. Although the deal didn't materialize, Merck's interest clearly highlights sonelokimab's strong potential. Analysts estimate the IL-17 market to exceed $10 billion, pointing to significant commercial opportunities for the drug. MoonLake's management team also brings deep expertise in pharma and biotech. The company's CEO, Dr. Jorge Santos da Silva, holds a PhD in medical sciences and has extensive experience in drug development. The financial operations are managed by CFO Matthias Bodenstedt. Together, they guide the company's strategic direction, optimize clinical research, and manage financial resources efficiently. For more details, I recommend checking the company's official blog and analyst interviews. After the announcement of Phase 3 trial results for sonelokimab in hidradenitis suppurativa in fall 2025, MoonLake stock sharply collapsed, dropping between 87% and 89.9% before the market opened on September 29, 2025, from $61.99 down to $7.81 per share. The main reason for this crash was the unexpectedly high placebo response rate in the VELA-2 trial, which weakened the statistical difference despite sonelokimab's 34.8% efficacy rate. Although the VELA-1 trial produced positive results against placebo, investors grew cautious due to the uncertainty around VELA-2. The 52-week VELA results are expected by mid-2026. Before we move to the analyst's price forecasts, let me quickly remind you that I have a goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers by the end of October. If we reach that goal, I'll reveal and share all the companies in my portfolio that have already taken off and brought me solid profits. So if you're interested, make sure to subscribe so we can reach this milestone together. Honestly, after the recent crash, analysts' opinions are mixed. Thomas Smith from Leerink Partners described the results as clearly disappointing and expects the stock to decline further. Andreas Argyrides from Oppenheimer, however, noted that sonelokimab's efficacy is close to that of its rival drug Bimzelx and may even outperform it in some metrics. He maintained his outperform rating but lowered his price target. Sergey Belanger from Needham pointed out regulatory uncertainties, suggesting another Phase 3 trial might be required. Forecasts for 2026 differ. According to MarketBeat, the average 12-month price target among 14 analysts is $36, implying an upside of about 250% from the current level. TradingView shows an average target of $22.27, and TipRanks reports $17.92. On Public.com, Wall Street analysts' average target is $44.56, representing roughly a 334% potential gain from the current price. Consensus ratings also vary. MarketBeat lists it as hold, TipRanks as moderate buy, and Public.com notes that 44% of analysts rate it as strong buy, 22% as buy, and 33% as hold. In the long term, meaning over 3 to 5 years, MoonLake's success depends on sonelokimab's clinical results. The IL-17A and F market is valued at over $10 billion, and the peak sales potential of sonelokimab in HS alone is estimated at around $4 billion. Merck & Company's $3 billion buyout offer in 2025 already highlights that potential. If sonelokimab secures regulatory approval and reaches the market, the company's valuation could rise significantly, but any clinical or regulatory failure could cause steep declines in its stock value. Before I wrap up, if you'd like to get up to $30 worth of free stock or cryptocurrency, you can sign up on the Quantfury platform using my invite code through the link pinned in the comments. And if you enjoy my videos, you can also buy me a cup of coffee using the other pinned link. It really helps boost my motivation to keep creating more content for you.